They say these countries are modern, fair, and progressive, but what if we told you that behind the smiles and skyscrapers, Indians are quietly being pushed aside? In today's video, we're diving deep into the world's most developed countries, nations known for equality, justice, and prosperity. But beneath the surface lies a harsh reality that many don't talk about. Thousands of Indians living, working, or studying in these countries silently face discrimination, whether it's in job markets, housing, social circles, or even daily life. It's not always loud, but it's real and it hurts. From Europe to Asia to the West, we're revealing the top 10 developed countries where Indians are quietly discriminated against, starting from number 10, all the way to the most difficult of them all. Stay tuned, because what you'll learn today may surprise you. 10. France. France is often seen as a progressive and multicultural society, but many Indians report facing subtle forms of discrimination. The primary issue is language. Those who do not speak fluent French are often excluded from job opportunities or social integration. Even qualified Indians sometimes face challenges in employment or housing, with landlords preferring native French tenants. Cultural isolation is another concern, as many French citizens are resistant to adopting multicultural values. In urban areas, Indians may experience police profiling or be treated with suspicion in public spaces. In rural regions, xenophobia is more direct. While overt racism is not common, many Indians describe a consistent feeling of being tolerated, but not truly accepted, especially outside the major cities like Paris and Lyon. 9. United Kingdom. The UK has a long-standing Indian population, particularly in cities like London, Leicester, and Birmingham. However, quiet discrimination persists in many sectors. Studies have shown that job applicants with Indian or South Asian names are less likely to get interview callbacks compared to white British applicants. In the workplace, many Indians report being overlooked for promotions or high-level roles. Social discrimination can also be subtle but present: stereotyping, exclusion from informal networks, or being treated as outsiders despite being born and raised in the UK. Post-Brexit immigration policies have become stricter and less welcoming to Indian professionals and students. Despite official commitments to equality, racism and bias still affect the daily lives of many Indians in the UK, especially outside multicultural urban centers. 8. Germany. Germany has become a popular destination for skilled Indian professionals and students. However, cultural and language barriers often lead to feelings of exclusion. Many Indians face difficulties integrating into German society due to the limited acceptance of English in daily life. Although the job market needs IT professionals and engineers, foreign applicants, especially non-EU citizens, may face longer hiring processes and a lack of trust from employers. Indian students have also reported racism on campuses and in public places, particularly in smaller towns. Negative stereotypes and general unfamiliarity with South Asian cultures lead to awkward interactions or social distancing. Germany promotes diversity on paper, but many Indians say they feel more like tolerated guests than valued members of society, especially outside big cities like Berlin or Munich. 7. Italy. Italy is home to a growing number of Indian migrants, particularly in agricultural and industrial sectors. However, many face quiet but harmful forms of discrimination. Indian workers, especially from Punjab, are often exploited in farms with poor wages and harsh conditions. Even skilled professionals struggle with recognition of Indian qualifications and a general distrust of non-EU workers. Language is a major barrier, and English is not widely spoken outside tourist areas. Indians often face social exclusion and are viewed as outsiders in local communities. In some cases, they're stereotyped as illegal workers or low-status laborers. While racism may not be openly aggressive, it's embedded in societal structures, leaving many Indians with limited upward mobility and social acceptance in Italian society. 6. Japan. Japan's society is known for its homogeneity and subtle social codes, which can make life difficult for foreigners. Indians, despite being highly skilled, often face silent barriers in the workplace and daily interactions. Employers may hesitate to hire non-Japanese workers due to language and cultural differences. Even when Indians do get jobs, promotions and long-term career growth can be limited. Indian families report being excluded from local community events and sometimes face housing discrimination. Japanese society places a strong emphasis on conformity, and those who don't fully assimilate may be silently shunned. While not overtly hostile, the cold politeness can make Indians feel unwelcome. Discrimination is rarely vocal, but deeply cultural, leaving Indians feeling like permanent outsiders even after years of living in Japan. 5. Australia. Australia promotes itself as multicultural, but Indians face growing concerns over racial bias, especially in suburban and rural areas. Indian students have been targets of racially motivated attacks in the past, and while conditions have improved, subtle forms of racism persist. In the workplace, Indians may find it hard to secure jobs that match their qualifications due to unconscious bias. The visa system has also grown stricter, making it more difficult for Indians to gain permanent residency. Social exclusion is another issue, with many Indians feeling they are not fully accepted into mainstream Australian society. Negative stereotypes in media and politics occasionally fuel this divide. Although urban areas like Melbourne and Sydney are more inclusive, many Indians still face quiet but persistent discrimination across Australia. 4. United States. The U.S. is a land of opportunity, but Indians still face discrimination, especially in subtle and systemic ways. In the job market, Indian professionals are often typecast into IT roles and find it hard to break into leadership positions. Discrimination also shows up in visa policies like the H-1B backlog, which disproportionately affects Indian applicants. There have been incidents of hate crimes targeting South Asians, especially post-9/11 and during political unrest. In social settings, Indians sometimes encounter microaggressions or are treated as perpetual foreigners. Even second-generation Indian Americans face identity challenges. While the U.S. has strong legal protections, the experience for Indians varies by region and industry. Quiet discrimination, particularly through systemic barriers, continues to impact the lives of many Indians living in America. 3. Switzerland. Switzerland has a reputation for being clean, safe, and orderly. But it can be socially cold toward outsiders. Indians, especially professionals and students, often struggle with cultural acceptance. Despite qualifications, non-EU job seekers face lengthy and biased hiring processes. Language is a major barrier as English is not commonly spoken outside corporate environments. Indians report being subtly excluded from social and housing opportunities, and landlords often prefer locals or EU citizens. Some even face racist comments or suspicion in public spaces. While Switzerland maintains a neutral image, its immigration policies are conservative and not particularly welcoming to non-Europeans. This creates an atmosphere where Indians feel tolerated for their economic contributions but not fully included or embraced in Swiss society. 2. South Korea. South Korea has a strong national identity and a very homogeneous population, making it difficult for foreigners to integrate, Indians included. Many Indians report that despite their qualifications, they face difficulty finding jobs outside the tech or teaching fields. In daily life, they often experience staring, social exclusion, or even open curiosity that borders on discomfort. Language barriers are high, and English is not always understood. Indian students in South Korea report difficulty adjusting to classroom environments and sometimes face discrimination from faculty or peers. Landlords may be reluctant to rent to non-Koreans. While the country promotes K-culture globally, its society remains inward-looking. Indians often feel they are accepted only on a superficial level, not fully welcomed into the fabric of South Korean life. 1. China. China ranks highest for quiet discrimination against Indians among developed or near-developed nations. Diplomatic tensions between the two countries contribute to negative stereotypes. Indians in China often face suspicion, surveillance, and difficulty in getting business licenses or work permits. The Chinese government tightly controls foreign influence, and Indian students, teachers, or businesspeople sometimes experience visa rejections or monitoring. Social discrimination includes exclusion from local networks, limited access to services, and subtle hostility in public interactions. Language is a major challenge, and very few Chinese locals speak English. Indians have reported racism on campuses and challenges in forming friendships. While not openly aggressive, the systemic, political, and social environment in China creates a hostile atmosphere where Indians are clearly seen as outsiders.